Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. We got Keith back, our big mate Keith from the Football Insider. Apparently, City are going to get £180 million reward in windfall after this legal case, according to him. Is this clickbait, again, from this channel, yeah? Or is it legit? What does he have to say? Let's find out.
City won on, I think, probably three big areas. They were right about the way the sponsorships had been challenged wrongly. And this again points to the Premier League not drafting their rules properly or executing their rules properly, as in the Leicester case. And partly in the Everton Forest case as well. There was criticism about drafting and interpretation. So,
yep, we know that. Leicester, they lost that case. Yeah, they got criticised in the Everton case, and obviously they've lost the City case. So, need to work a bit harder on that, lads. You know what I mean? I don't know what you're doing over there, Premier League, when you're writing your legal rules. Yeah, but you need to improve. You need to improve, boys. A couple L's.
a really big black mark for the Premier League there. Also, City won on the fact that
That seems fair.
owner funding should now be carrying a piece of it, a charge of interest with it, and that's a big win in terms of this for City.
Yeah, this is the loan. So if an owner gives a loan to a football club at 0% interest, or basically below market rates, that's not fair market value. By the way, does anyone else feel it's kind of mad that wasn't already the rule? Like, again, you know what this is really highlighted to me, right? This whole saga is that you don't have to be a lawyer, you don't have to be a legal expert to just read some of the stuff that's going on and just go, well, that doesn't make no sense anyway. How on earth have we got to this point where loans could have been given to a football club with 0% interest and everyone was just like, yeah, it's cool. But then the sponsorships are completely different. It's mad.
And that's got big ramifications for quite a few other clubs. Although, as we go on to discuss this, there may be ways around that for clubs. But nevertheless, in terms of this particular legal case, it was a big win for City. And thirdly, they've got a chance to get damages for the sponsorships that were withheld.
Damages.
Now, we know that there were three big sponsorships, one for Etihad Airlines, one for the Emirates Palace, a hotel, and then another one for the First Abu Dhabi Bank. So three big sponsorships, and the increase I think that could be there over what they would have had before could be something in the order of about maybe 60 million a year. I'm guessing at this, but I think that would be an estimate. So for 3 years, there's about 150, 180 million of potential up.
Well, that's where you've got your title from the video for. Man City in line for stunning £180 million windfall. That's what they've titled the video. So yeah, this is why they're saying it. So if City can get these sponsorship deals through the door, yeah, if it's a 3-year deal, that's £180 million at the top end. I mean, we don't know. It's speculation at the moment, but that's what he's suggesting. Former CEO of football club, so I guess he kind of knows what he's talking about, although on a previous video at the same time, kind of waffling. Yeah, it will be interesting now to see if City get these deals through. I find it interesting how we're currently in a position where nobody actually knows what the rules are. Yeah? That's why they're going back to these 3-man judge panel and saying to the 3-man panel, guys, do you mind expanding on the current state of play? I mean, I've got to say this, yeah, I've said this last night as well. This is completely embarrassing from the Premier League. I think the Premier League are embarrassed here. Whether they won or lost, they think they won. City think they won. This is embarrassing from the Premier League. I mean, you did lose the case. I mean, you might have won aspects of it, but you did lose fundamentally. You did lose. Parts of your rules were found to be unlawful. That's a loss, mate. Yeah, you've got to hold the L. You've also lost the Leicester case a couple of weeks ago, months ago, whatever. That's a huge L. You're getting embarrassed on the regular situation. Obviously, you all know my thoughts. You saw the video yesterday. Most of you saw the video yesterday with Simon Jordan. He's calling for the board of the Premier League to resign. If City win the 115 case, they would resign. And listen, I completely agree with him. I think they're already like shouts. They're already calls. There's a petition going around on the internet right now for Richard Masters to resign. I think he's already probably close to the level of bro, you need to resign. You know what I mean? You've already lost the Leicester case. You've now lost this case to a degree. Should he resign now? I don't know. Should he wait until the 115? I'm not 100% sure, man. But listen, his job's on the line.
Uplift in those sponsorships that City have been denied. and they've been given the right to seek damages against that as well. So those, I think, are the three main wins. The Premier League will say that, no, actually, the rules were upheld, that there must be some sort of system to monitor the fair market value of these deals. And so overall, we just need to tweak a few things to make sure we get the rules back into shape, that they're not falling foul of the law, and we'll carry on as normal. That's, the spin from both sides. And it does seem to be borne out. As we said last week, it's been like a score draw, I think, really. It's nowhere near as big a deal for City and as big a win as they're making out. And it's nowhere near a huge win for the Premier League either.
Yeah, the thing is, listen, I actually kind of like this guy, yeah. I kind of like him, right? I like the way he speaks. Comes across as a nice guy and that, yeah. But he contradicts himself pure times. He did it on the last video, last week, and he's doing it today. So you're trying to tell me that if City get the sponsorship through, yeah, now £180 million across 3 years, you're telling me that's not a big deal? Like, bro, I don't get this guy, man. He's an interesting guy. He's trying to tell us that this is a so again, this is a stunning £180 million windfall at the title of the video. He's telling us that City could get £60 million a year extra in revenue, which totals 180 across 3 years, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal for City. City making it out as if it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. Bro, like, you've got to pick a side, man. You've got to pick a side. Like, bro, what are you doing here? That's nearly 10% of City's revenues extra a year. I think City's revenues are floating around the £700 million mark, something like that a year. That's just less than 10%. If you could increase your revenues 10%, I'd consider that quite a big deal. But then he just contradicts himself a little bit. It's a bit annoying, really, because I kind of like the guy. But I have to call him out. I have to be balanced. I have to be fair.
So it is a score draw, and both seem to have fought themselves to a bit of a standstill on this one.
At the same time, yeah, you're saying the score draw. Look at the Premier League side, right? The Premier League the rules are either stable, yeah. I just don't understand this score draw nonsense. The Premier League rules that they've got, this APT rules, yeah, they're either fine and they just need tweaking, which is a huge W for the Premier League. It's a bit embarrassing that some of the rules were unlawful, but if the Premier League are right and they just need to tweak the rules and they can get that done within 10 days, I'd consider that a win for the Premier League. Slightly embarrassing, but it's a win. Alternatively, the rules are scrapped, as City is saying, and that's a huge loss for the Premier League. I don't understand this score draw bullshit. Or maybe it is a score draw, and I just don't understand. But for me, bro, I don't know, man. It just seems like someone's won and someone's lost. And to me, at the moment, it seems like City have won and the Premier League have lost, or City are wrong. I don't know, man. It just seems a bit weird.
No doubt. And if you were just to put it into, layman's terms, what do City get from this that'll be positive for them moving forward in terms of, the sponsorship deals?
Right, so let's just remind ourselves that you just said this isn't a big deal for City, yeah?
Well, they will now get a different system, I think, under which the sponsorships are reviewed. They won some points about the timing that the Premier League took to do it, that they didn't give City full information about how they were valuing these sponsorships. And so City can go back prepared now and hopefully get those sponsorships passed and improved. That's really what's in it for City, I think, more than anything else. And it's a big blow, given the big, £64,000 gorilla of that 115 charges sitting out there. We've got to sit and see how that impacts that case as well.
No.
So we're getting a completely different system, as you said. But again, it's not a big deal. I just don't fucking understand, man.
No doubt. And we saw that Chelsea, Newcastle, and Everton all acted as witnesses.
Yes,
for Manchester City.
big up the blue cartel, plus the black and white team up in the northeast.
What does this mean? Why did these clubs do it? And what exactly?
Interest, mate. I'm not sitting here saying we're all best friends, yeah? Big up all the Geordies that are now subscribed to the channel. Yeah, we're not busy mates, are we? We just, at the end of the day, we all have the same interest as a football club. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. Like, I said it yesterday on the stream. Clubs have interests. Some clubs want this, some clubs want that. Everton, Chelsea, Newcastle, back in City, and maybe a couple of other clubs that are back in City because they think City are right, or that they think that if City get what they want, that'll be better for them. More like Arsenal, yeah, they don't want the City rules because that's not good for them, so they're voting against the rules. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. Clubs are interested in what they want, yeah. And that's what happened when the Premier League rules were brought in. It's no different. When the Premier League rules were brought in, they were brought in to protect the clubs at the top, to protect their interests. They span it. They span the rules at the time, though, to pretend like it wasn't that. It was to protect clubs going bust, which was absolute gaslighting in its finest. Yeah? That's all it was. Life has interests. There are no friends nor enemies, only interests in this life. Guys, I like listening to Keith, mate. Yeah, I think the guy waffles a lot. I don't think he knows truly what he's talking about. Respect the guy, though. You know what I mean? For giving us his opinions. I think he contradicts himself a lot. I don't think a lot of the stuff that he says makes sense. But, listen, everyone's got a camera. You can say what you want. I say what I want. Do I know what I'm talking about? No. Nor does Keith. Big up. Smash a like. Subscribe to the channel. Give us your comments in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next one. See you later.